Happy Thanksgiving, everybody!
Happy Thanksgiving.
How are you?
I'm doing really well, kind of entering a new chapter where it's just the two of us on Thanksgiving this year, and I don't have work to entertain my brain. So it's kind of been a new thought process, but not bad, just new.
Just new, just different. New
Correct.
adventures, new excitement, new things to uh a new workplace that you get to explore.
Absolutely. Boy, exploration is always fun.
Sometimes.
Yes.
But with that, you know, I would say some of the teams this last week were exploring to find some of their players. I don't know.
Uh, there was a couple that I wonder if they knew when the game time was.
Yeah. I guess I've noticed that more this year that there's been more, we say more parity in the league. And I don't know if it's parity or if it's the teams that we expect to win know that their opponent doesn't have the same season, isn't having the same season, isn't having the same success. And so they're almost playing down to their level.
Or they kind of quit playing
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, okay, we're going to run up this score. And I'm going to use my game as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Colts, Danny Dimes, they were having an amazing game. And we literally were running out there on two left feet and nothing was going right.
Mm-hmm.
Halftime happened. We come back and the third quarter was a whole bunch of nothing. Like we scored a touchdown, I think, in the third quarter, kind of got it brought back up. But it was almost like we had got into the head of Daniel Jones and he quit producing. We had shut down his the run game, as I'm guessing that was the target or the plan. And Daniel forgot that he could throw. I don't know. It was almost like the New York Giants Daniel showed up for the second half. And I'm like, I mean, that is a good game plan to use. I'm not sure it was the best one because we had 300 yards of offense in the last 9 minutes plus overtime, and they had 45. But so Eagles kind of had the same situation going on. Congratulations to Megan's Cowboys, but Eagles went into half flying high, and then I guess they packed up and went home because they never scored again.
Well, and look at it compared to the week before, we saw the Eagles play the Lions, and the defenses. I mean, that was a defensive battle.
Absolutely, and it was exciting to watch. Actually,
it was. It was. I completely agree. I mean, we've seen some really different football lately.
Yes.
I mean, the Packers. Everybody knows my team's the Packers. They took out Minnesota. It's really weird how their schedule's playing out because they played the Vikings this last week, which is in their division. They play the Lions on Thanksgiving. The following week they play the Bears. Then they play outside their division and play the Broncos. Then they go back to playing, I believe and I can't remember if it's the Vikings or the Bears again. And then they play the Ravens and then they play the other Vikings or Bears. So we play our 5 of the last 7 are divisional opponents.
And that's crazy. Because
Yeah.
we're down to, we have just 3 left. But last year we had both Denver games and like in the last, ours last year was very similar to that because we played Raiders, I think, virtually back to back. Like it was like 1 or 2 weeks and then the same thing with Broncos. So it was really a weird setup for us last year. This year it's kind of spaced out with us losing our very first divisional game on opening night. So, yeah, the schedule's been off.
Yeah.
But I am going to say, if you are good at predicting the unpredictable currently, or you think that you have what it's worth. Chicks and Salsa, Three Chicks in a Pot are sponsoring a pick'em this week, an NFL pick'em. Actually, the website. So he does NFL and hockey. So sports fans, if you think you know the football, here's your shot. The Paper Wagers Thanksgiving contest is officially live, and it's completely free to play. Paper Wagers lets you jump into NFL Pick'em, test your streak in NHL Hot Stick, take a swing at the primetime pods, and earn paper points while you compete. And they are rolling out new features regularly, so there's always something fresh to play or try. For Thanksgiving Pick'em, first, second, and third places will win prizes, but make sure to get your picks in early because the contest closes Thursday at the first kickoff. It only takes about a minute to enter, and it's a great way to challenge your friends to see who actually knows their stuff and can strut it, especially at Thanksgiving. Just head to paperwagers.com and get your Thanksgiving picks in. I will repeat this website at the end. I'll also post it on our Facebook page. So make sure that you're checking this out because your girl here in the league I'm playing in is in at number 2 overall.
Wow.
Yep.
Go girl.
Well, I love playing pick'ems. I really do. I've done really, really well with this one. Had I bothered to match it up with my ESPN, I would really be kicking butt over there too, but I didn't. And it's a whole thing. Like I forget who I pick on one side or the other, and I'm just like, the brain says this one today. But I'm currently number 2 in a Football World's competition. So, do you think you have the moxie out there to beat me?
Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know if I do, but maybe somebody else out there does.
I mean, I'm looking forward to the competition.
Yeah, bring it on. Come on, everybody who wants to join. Love to have them.
Right. So back to what we were talking about. It has been, I feel like I have seen it more in the recent years instead of playing to your potential, what's on your, what's on your team, the plays that you have access to and everything. I feel like we've seen a lot of playing down to the competition as opposed to playing at your standard.
Yeah, I mean, no offense, and Jen, we love you, but your Panthers, like they've improved a lot, but they've won a lot of games that most of us would not have thought they would have won this year.
Correct. And I did pick them last night. I did see the Panthers that could have won for about a quarter. And then that missed the interception in the end zone totally took them. I think that totally changed Bryce's game. And why he didn't run that in, he had a free shot into there. That would be a great question to ask.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that moment, because they were trading back and forth picks. I mean, like, you get an interception. No, I think it's your turn to get an interception. No, I think it's your turn. But it was back and forth there for a while. I was like, what are we playing here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that missed opportunity at the touchdown on that interception changed the game, and that was where the game was won or lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. We've seen a lot of that lately, though. I don't know. I mean, we've seen a lot of injuries too. Let's face it.
Well, that's true.
There's been a lot, like Minnesota. I know McCarthy went down with a concussion protocol, and so he was out for part of it. Jordan Love went out part this year just for a little bit. Malik Willis we've seen. We've seen, obviously, Joe Burrow was out. Like, we've seen a number of different, and when I say injuries, I'm saying to key players. Like, yes, I get, someone on our offensive line has been, injured. But when you're talking the quarterback, that's really your number one position. That's obviously the person that's the highest paid on that team. And when you when that happens, that just makes a big difference.
Correct. And then we see this is the second year in a row, it seems like, that San Francisco has been decimated, both offense and defense. And then you look down at Tampa Bay, and they were on a roll, and then they've kind of gone into a skid because the people that were key to making sure they could roll have also, they've had in their season. So it is a very peculiar situation that has arisen in that situation. I hate it when we lose the stars.
Right. Like the Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, like any of those.
Correct. Because, we've talked about this, especially with basketball and NBA, but you are spending money to go see your favorite star play. And for football, that's you get 18 times.
Right.
I mean, so it's even more of an ouch because there's not a chance to catch it later necessarily, because it's a lot of money and you have to in a quick recoup to try to purchase again. So, I mean, I'm looking at a budget friendly. That's not budget friendly if you're buying just individual games. So there's a disappointment in that.
Right. Right. So Carrie, can you guess? And okay, so let's preface this because obviously the games this weekend, one of the biggest, we're going to start with the theme Thanksgiving edition. We're going to talk about the Detroit Lions.
Yes.
So the Lions have actually played on Thanksgiving every year since 1934, with the exception of 1939 to 44, because due to World War II, they didn't play at all.
Well, that does make sense, those years, but that's phenomenal. But how successful have they been?
Well, their all-time record on Thanksgiving is 37, 45, and 2. So yes, they have not. It hasn't been the best for them. Their overall record is negatively impacted. They had a 9-game losing streak from 2004 to 2012, but they have not won. They have the most recent losing streak. They haven't won since 2016. And if my team has anything to say about it on Thursday, they're not going to. That's going to continue.
You have like same song, different verse.
Right.
Well, I'm going to root for you.
Thank
Don't
you.
tell Scott because he might throw things at me. Because that's going to be a lovely, lovely experience in your house on the holiday. Happy Thanksgiving, Adam. Did you have a great birthday?
Yeah, we hope you had a happy birthday, Adam, and happy Thanksgiving to you too. So, Carrie, I'm going to ask you another question.
Okay.
Okay, so the Lions have faced, and can you tell me or can you guess who you think they've faced the most on Thanksgiving?
Somehow I feel like it's Green Bay.
It is. It actually is. They've faced each other 22 times on Thanksgiving, and they've faced the Bears the next most at 19 games. I kind of figured it would be a divisional opponent, but hey, you never know.
That is very interesting.
Do you know the other team that always plays?
Oh, that I do know. I think for a while I was confused and thought they always played each other, but that's not the truth. It's good old Jerry down in Jerry's world in Dallas.
Yes, that tradition started back in '66, and they've been playing a second game ever since. I can tell you that my husband Scott actually interviewed Jerry Jones at one point, and he asked him about Thanksgiving Day and if he thought the Lions would ever lose that, being on Thanksgiving Day. And Jerry Jones said, "Not if I have anything to say about it, because for years and years nobody wanted to play on that day, but now it's kind of a primo day and everybody wants to." But Jerry said, "No, as long as he's alive, he's going to say the Lions need to be on that day because they've always done it." And they should.
And going with the current street or current thought process, he may outlive all of us.
Mhm.
So
Hey, you never know. You
you
never know.
never know, never know. That's interesting though.
Mhm.
So it's mainly, and now that I think about it, it was mainly NFC teams, but we're getting to sneak in this Thursday
Late. They added
with
a third
Dallas. Yep.
game. They did. That kind of surprised me. I mean, but I guess, and I think, and here I say it's a late game, but if I think about it, I live on the East Coast, so yes, for me it's a late game because it starts at what, like 8 p.m. But those that live out on the West Coast, that's
Yes.
only five,
Yeah.
right? Five,
The other
six.
thing I saw that this game could break the all-time viewership record of a single football game during the season, because you have two very large fan bases that follow their teams that are religiously following their teams.
Mhm.
So like I'm trying to think, I want to say it was a Vikings Dallas game that had like 42 million views, and they think that will be blown out of the water by projection.
Mhm.
And I think it was Jim Nance that was quoted in that, and he's like, with these two powerhouse bases, one being a always in the news, basically
Mhm.
always the ball, um Dallas, and then the new era with the Chiefs being kind of a new era dynasty. The two fan bases at the same time at the same game should be really phenomenal output.
Mhm. Well, and I think the time matters too, because
Yes.
because like I would say, like the Packers Lions games on earlier, those that are on the West Coast, that means they'd be waking up and seeing the game, and like I don't know that they get the same viewership because of that.
Right. Absolutely. Uh on a side note, this is the fourth straight games that I may have to mute the TV because golly gee whiz, Tony Romo,
Mhm.
yay. Tony Romo is calling our fourth straight game. Yay. Oh yay.
Yes. Yes.
I did
Speaking of,
not hear any of the game until overtime. After the first quarter, I was tired of hearing it felt one-sided, but you would feel that if it was not your team having the success.
mhm.
And I didn't need his additional salt in my wounds. So I muted the TV.
I've done that before. Sometimes I've done that and Scott's called the game for me, which is kind of cool. That's very different. Except I wouldn't allow him to do that during a Packer Lions game because
No, 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 no,
he's
no, no, no.
really
And see, Rob and I will be like, oh well, that we were calling the. That's my new thing. My new way to watch games is like, if I'm going to watch it, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to point out when I see a call or missed call or whatever. So that's kind of the new that where I've evolved to, is that's kind of how I enjoy watching the game. But um, yeah, that wouldn't work for inner division or inner house challenges.
division.
No.
Yeah,
As
exactly.
you already know, the two Super Bowls were just Rob and I, so we would not make anybody else feel uncomfortable with our uncomfortable silence to each other.
I get it. I get it. So I completely forgot when we were talking pre-production. I actually went and saw a football game this past weekend.
What?
And I was on the field taking pictures. And for any of you that don't know, typically we cover Miami Hurricanes. The Miami Hurricanes were on the road. So this weekend we actually was more in our backyard. We got to see UConn play Florida Atlantic. And the reason why I wanted to talk about it just real briefly is the score was 48-45. So that was like a
Wow.
high scoring game. But not only that, I can't tell you the last time I went to a game where I saw both teams total yards were 600 or 600 plus for both teams.
Wow. No.
Back and forth, up and down that. I mean, UConn had 31 first downs, a total of 600 yards. FAU had 37 first downs for a total yards of 687.
Jeez.
They both threw for over 400 passing yards. Now, if anybody follows football, they know that's a lot.
That is a lot.
But
Well,
it was a fun game. It was back and forth. And actually, FAU went down 24-3 in the first quarter. And
wow.
they came back to make it a game and go back and forth. And so I had to mention that because I had forgotten to mention that in pre-production. And I'm like, I just had to give kudos to both teams because
that's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like that game that we played the Rams that was supposed to be international, and it was we ended up in LA right after the fires, and it was 52-50.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the ball just was like do. I mean, like the teams are just running up and down the field. And you're like quite an addictive game to watch too. Just
mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why we got Chris Jones, is because we needed an answer to Aaron Donald after that game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little bit of bringing my team back into the picture, but yeah, those games are fun.
Yes,
but I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed the Lions-Eagles game, even though it was a defensive battle with not a lot of scoring, because that's reminiscent of, the Steel Curtain, Purple People Eater,
yep,
the Bears, 85, those stronghold defense games, and I liked those too. So, I mean,
they always say defense wins championships, right?
Right.
I mean, I have to give it up. Reggie White helped us win that Super Bowl. That his defense, like the Minister of Defense.
Yep.
Not to forget.
I mean, you gotta love it when the defense. I do like the current one, but I loved when it was a defense that was making or breaking games, and that's what that era was. I mean, now it's all offense, but we're starting to see those strong defenses creep back in, and I kind of dig that. Not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. Well, one of the other interesting stories that we came across was the NIL money.
And, oh yes.
I really don't understand all of it, and I'll be the first to admit that. I have not read up on it as much as I probably should, but I didn't realize that it was performance. A part of it is performance based, and the reason why I say that is Carson Beck from the Hurricanes, who was a former Georgia Bulldog. At the beginning of the season, it was reported that he was sporting a $4.3 million NIL valuation. Now, the Hurricanes have had a little blip in the road a couple of times, and so has Carson. So their record is 9-2, which is still very respectable. And they're in the top 15 ranked nationally. But his NIL has fallen to $3.1 million.
That I didn't realize that it was performance based.
And that's a big.
It does make sense, because regular contracts for these players across, it doesn't matter which sport, are you have this and the incentives for performance built in to make it this. So it makes sense now that you brought that to light. Would have never guessed that.
I wouldn't have either. And on the flip side of that, Fernando Mendoza, who is Indiana's surging junior, walked into the year with just a 1.6 million dollar NIL dealings. And after he's stunned the nation and they're perfect 11-0, his value has nearly doubled and he's at 2.6.
That's crazy. It's also impressive that Indiana, while they had a strong surge last year, they are still at that level because, well,
Kudos to their coach.
right. That was something. They were a dark horse last year, and then they lost players through attrition, and they're still that competitive. So impressive.
Especially since they've always been considered a basketball school.
Right. Who would have thought Hoosier meant more than hoops?
Exactly. Kurt Signetti he's earned his contract, and that's why he's gotten more money and stuff like that. In today's day and age, navigating through NIL and the transfer portal and all of that, and he's done it with ease. So kudos to him.
Right. And we did not mention that the coaching carousel still is ever evolving.
Yes. In both college and in the pros. I mean, we've seen offensive coordinators this as late as this week.
We saw offense and defense this week get canned in two different teams. I've joked and said I didn't realize the Raiders had offense. Gino knows how to offend, but I didn't know that he knows offense. Right. Did you catch that little thing that he did to the crowd when they lost?
No.
He told them they were number one.
Oh, okay.
With a gesture, and the team has already come out and apologized, and he's already been fined because this is the second time this year that he's done that. Preseason in Seattle.
Will they ever learn?
Well, I mean, we still have people spitting, so no.
I know. I saw that. Ay.
So
that's crazy.
You know, I get it. It's highly competitive, but they're also professionals.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I'm like, I've never been to a boardroom and watched someone spit. Nope. I've never been to a retail location and had someone spit. So that there's just really no place in a professional. If you're going to get paid the money, you need to be acting a professional.
Exactly. I agree. Well, Carrie,
you have your show in like now.
Yeah, in a couple minutes, but yeah.
But I didn't realize the time we'd gotten to. Wow.
I know, it goes so quickly, doesn't it?
You and I should have our own show, and we'll just like pause for daily life every once in a while.
There we go. Oh, but let's put it out there. We missed Dawn, we missed Megan, and we missed Jen. They all had previous commitments. They couldn't be on. They wanted to be on, but we
love them, and they love being on here with us. So it's frustrating to the person, like when I've not been able to be on. It's frustrating to me because this is something I look forward to. But real life happens, and we just all have to kind of roll with real life. And don't forget, I'm going to post on 3 Chicks in a Pod Facebook about the paper wagers, paperwagers.com. I know that there's a $25 gift card for first place. There is a $15 gift card for second and a $10 gift card for third. So I'm going for the 25. Who's going with me? Who's going to unseat me?
Who's going to challenge her? Who's going to challenge her? But with all of that being said, we wish all of our listeners, whether you were in the chat room or not, whether you watch this later, we wish you a very, very happy Thanksgiving. We hope you spend time with those that you love. because that's what it's about. It's not about eating. It's not about football. I mean,
Wait,
maybe
it's
in
not
some
about
households,
eating and football? Okay. Duly noted.
but it's about really spending time with those you love, because let's face it, none of us are promised tomorrow. So we need to take advantage of all the time we can with those that we love.
Absolutely. Love to you all. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.